Hello everybody, welcome back, and I am TheChornick, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are once again going to talk about Ash Ketchum leaving the anime. I know we've already made a bunch of videos about this already. I will post them in the description below, and maybe at the end of this video if I can, okay, because we'll probably keep talking about this sort of subject because of all the rumors and gossip going on about Ash potentially leaving the anime. And honestly, I do believe it will happen eventually. But in this point of this video, we are going to discuss whether or not it is a good idea for the next main protagonist to be female in particular. So that's going to be the focus of this discussion. Would it be a good idea, marketing-wise, to make the next face of the Pokemon anime female rather than male? In my opinion, I would like to see a female character only because I feel like the next character, if they were to be male, that they'd be too much like Ash, and it would feel as if, like, what's the point in getting rid of Ash if you're just replacing him with another Ash Ketchum? Like, just bring Ash Ketchum back, you know what I mean? So that's why I feel like it should be a significant factor to just change the gender, and that would be just enough to make it feel different. That certain gender switch would be just enough, even if she is completely the same in personality and completely the same in, like, just her battling style, everything, which in my opinion should be changed a little bit, of course, but I think there would be so much, it would feel so much different. The presence would be so much different just in the change of the gender, that I think it would feel better as longtime viewers like us to see a brand new face, and it would feel fresh. You know what I mean? Just because of the gender part. Now, would it be a good idea marketing wise? Now, I'm no research expert. I'm not going to try to get, like, political or anything with this either. If it's would it be a good idea to switch the gender? Would it be okay to have a female protagonist? I would like to see one, yes. Would it be a good idea? That is what we're kind of discussing here. I don't think it matters. Because I think up to this point, we've just had so many better stories with male characters because there's just been more male character stories through anime, through, you know, books, through whatever, right? And that there's just so much more material on that people just generally assume that male characters sell better than female ones do. Personally, I don't think that matters for Pokemon. Like, if they made the main character female. Do I think it could end up affecting some boys and make them not want to watch this? Sure, definitely. Because I could understand, like, representation in the sense that, like, I would more, like, relate to another male character than I would a female, right? Having to watch a female character and her story, I wouldn't relate to her on the sense of the gender part, but, like, I don't think it really matters if her personality is something I could really, really relate to. You know, if she's a lot like Ash Ketchum, or say even more mature and more serious and more masculine, I feel like that is a good idea. That's where they should go if they made her, you know, made the protagonist female. I don't think marketing-wise, I don't think it's going to really hurt Pokemon. However, if they make her, like, really girly and make her, you know, not what the main demographic of Pokemon is, which is primarily, honestly, boys, like, young boys and girls, but, you know, and it's just well believed that young girls and boys both like boy and male protagonists. Like, girls generally don't mind the protagonist, whereas, like, research shows that males generally just prefer to watch shows and read books about males. So that's why they have, like, Ash Ketchum, and why Ash Ketchum honestly worked so well. The risk is if they replace it with a female. If just the fact that the character is a female, would that really put Pokemon at risk? Would they really lose that male audience? I don't think so. It just depends on the presentation and the personality and the character of that female protagonist. Honestly, I think she needs to look really cool. I think that she just needs to be serious and masculine in regards to personality and character. Be the kind of character that males can relate to and what they would look up to. I don't think it matters on her character being female. I don't think that's a problem, and that would prohibit, you know, male people from watching it. Sure, some definitely, but, like, I don't think it will really hurt Pokemon that much. I just think it's the presentation of that character. What's their personality? What are they like? what do they look like? Okay, I think that she definitely should be attractive, but not girly. I think she should look cool, kind of looking like a Hilda, or say the character from Pokemon Let's Go, like the female character, like that. I mean, Ash Ketchum had a baseball cap. I think that if they made a female protagonist, she would also have a baseball cap, like they did in Pokemon Let's Go. They did it in Pokemon Go, and they had it in, you know, with Pokemon Black and White with Hilda, and then they also had it with the Pokemon Master games. Those kind of characters, where like their outfit's sporty, it's cool, it's not girly, they look like cool characters, I think those will sell really well. I think if you make your character like that, more masculine, more like sporty, like things that young boys can relate to and what they would want to go into, right, sports and all that, I think that would sell pretty well. I don't think the female, making the protagonist female would really matter. Okay, so I'm not gonna really go too much into like that research aspect or the political aspect of, you know, what really attracts, you know, males, and whether or not that really does affect their decision, because I mean, I'm no expert on it, and I honestly don't believe some of the things that have been shown and researched on. I just think that there's just been better stories about male characters, because there just is more of that nature, more material for that. So generally people just jump on board and say, okay, it's just safe to go with a male character, and it's worked with Pokemon, so I'm not gonna argue that. Okay, it's really worked for Pokemon and making, you know, because Ash Ketchum is a male and he resembles and he's supposed to be one with the, you know, audience, of the demographic. And I feel like the worry here that people would think is like, would making the next protagonist female be a bad thing because it won't, you know, match the majority of what the demographic or the audience of the target market is for Pokemon. But to me, I don't think it would play a huge part. I do agree that definitely representation does play a part in someone's decision whether they like a character or not, or whether they can relate to that character. But to be honest, I think people would watch a story about a character that's the opposite gender of them if they're just a cool character, if like they can relate to a lot of like their personality, or they can look up to them. A young boy, like even me, like when I was young, yeah, I watched Pokemon. Like I love Ash Ketchum. Like, you know, I wanted to be the very best, like no one ever was too. Like, you know, like I could really relate to him. But like, I even watched like Powerpuff Girls, for example. Like they were cool. Like they were just like, you know, they're fighting bad guys. It was really action packed. I didn't really care that they were female. Like even when I was young, like I still watched it because it was cool. Punching up bad guys, like they were doing things that you would think a male would do. You know, like they would. Violence, I guess you could say, like I don't know, like Kim Possible too, like all these characters that are cool and they're doing things that like a male would be interested in. That's why I'm saying, like if the next protagonist is female, she would have to act very masculine, in my opinion, to cater to the main demographic, that being young male 10-year-old boys. But anyway guys, post in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings about this. I personally think that if they did honestly give us a new protagonist, that it should be female, because it would feel fresh to me. It feel fresh to a lot of long-term viewers. She would have to be 10 years old, but she would have to be masculine and looking cool in her personality, and she would probably have to be pretty too. So not only would she cater to women, but she would also cater to the boys as well. I definitely think she should relate to Ash Ketchum. Hopefully she's like this, like the daughter, right? So people growing up with Ash Ketchum could be like, oh, you know, this is his daughter. She's cool, you know. I could relate to her because of Ash. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, post in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings. Would you want the next main protagonist, if there is a new one, would you want them to be a female? I personally think that it should, because it creates enough of a difference that like it won't be just another Ash Ketchum. That's why I want like one to be female. Okay. I just don't want another Ash Ketchum. What's the point in removing Ash if you're just gonna throw in another character that looks exactly like him, has the same personality, doesn't really need to change much because he's male? You know what I mean? But if they throw in a female, they could just make her really masculine. I think they'll be fine. They have to be very, very careful. Don't make her annoying. Make her like serious and cool, but not like to the point where she's just like a little brat. You know what I mean? Anyway guys, I love your faces. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Post in the comment section below whether or not, again, you feel like that female character is a good idea. What would you prefer? the main protagonist to look like, to be like, etc. Any of those kind of descriptions, post in the comment section below. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, before we keep going on too much, I love your faces. Subscribe if you have not yet, and peace off! Thank you very much.